What's going on, everyone? So, Jarred Vanderbilt is such a interesting piece for the Lakers, right? Because he's so unique in the sense of like his hustle, his effort, his energy, the way that he can defend multiple positions, right? Like I do think he was a little step behind this season, right, compared to what he's been in previous seasons. Part of that was, he was injured for a year, it took some time ramping up. So I would be really curious to see how he would look next season or this season coming up, right? Where, now he has a full training camp, full preseason of health. He can get his body right, get everything in order. Hopefully he's working on his 3-point shot because we really need that. Because you got to keep in mind, he had surgery in both his feet. So it wasn't like he was able to get reps and shoot the ball a bunch of times and do all this stuff, right? But he's such a high impact guy for the Lakers. When he is out there, he is effective, but he's also limited. Right? Again, you're talking about one of the best perimeter on-ball defenders, hustle play guys in the league. But even with all that, he's one of the worst offensive players in the league. Gives you no real offensive production outside of like the occasional lob threat or putback or, just being a cutter. And even at times he can still fumble the ball, right? His hands, he needs to work on his hands at times. We talked about that in the past, right? Like one of the things he's got to work on is his hands, catching the basketball, finishing, doing all those things. But you're talking about a guy that's 6'8", 6'9", right? Like that is just so versatile, that can defend 1 through 5, that can defend opposing guards, which is a big thing, right? You see a lot of defenders that, they can defend, 2 through 5, but they can't defend an Anthony Edwards or, a Ja or an SGA or something. Well, Jarred Vanderbilt is one of those guys that can. And, I would love to keep Jarred Vanderbilt, but I also don't think he's untradeable. Right? Like, I don't think anyone on this roster outside of LeBron and Luka are completely untradeable. But there are guys that I would prefer to keep, right? A Dorian Finney-Smith, I think, is a guy that you should and need to keep, right? Because, even if you get another guy or two, you still need more two-way guys, right? And Dorian Finney-Smith being that veteran that can come off the bench, that could be a key piece, right? He's a guy that I think you should keep. Jarred Vanderbilt, there's a lot of the same arguments for, but unless he takes like real significant strides shooting the basketball, right? Even just the corner three, it's questionable, right? Like, because again, he gives you that elite defense, right? But gives you abysmal offense. And he's one of the guys that I wouldn't mind a trade-off if you could get a guy that's like, say, good defensively and good offensively, right? He's not elite. He's not, super great, right? Like nothing like that. He's just good defender, can defend multiple positions, be an on-ball defender, hustle, rebound, do all the dirty work, right? And just good, 37% from 3, right? Nothing crazy, nothing elite, nothing like, just good defender, good offensive, catch and shoot 3-point shooter guy, right? If you can get somebody like that, I do think that I think that's a better trade-off, right? Because Jarred Vanderbilt, again, he might have a greater impact, particularly on the defensive side of things and, maybe rebounding and stuff. But that two-way guy is going to have a better impact overall because he's going to be able to be an offensive threat that teams are going to have to worry about, right? Where, teams are willing to kind of just let Jarred Vanderbilt's in the corner. Okay, like I'm sliding over to be the help defender. Like they're not even worried. If he wants to take that shot, fine. You just got to watch him, make sure he's not cutting, right? So it's just, it's that trade-off. But Jarred Vanderbilt also is in an interesting spot because of his contract. He is, especially if you can get back to that elite level defense, right? He is a guy that he's making $11.5 million next year, right? And then he'll have the following year at $12.4 million, and then he has a player option in 2027, 2028 at $13.2 million, which he probably opts into. So you probably got him for the next 3 years. He'd still only be 28 years old going into that player option year, so he's still very young, very talented, very skilled. He just turned 26 in April, right? So again, he's a guy that is young, versatile, athletic, can do multiple things on the basketball court. There are injury concerns. He has been injury prone over his career. So can he stay healthy? He was great when he came back from injury at staying healthy. Can he continue to ramp up, gear up in this offseason, and then again, work on his shot? Because that's the biggest problem is his shooting. So you look at this season, 36 games played, 16.1 minutes per game, 3.4 field goal attempts, 48.8%. He was 28.1% from three-point range this year. It was only on 0.9 attempts, so basically 1 attempt per game. But still, I mean, he's a career 28.8 three-point shooter. His best three-point shooting season was 33.3%, and that was with Utah on 1.1 attempts per game. So he's, again, an abysmal three-point shooter. He doesn't take a lot of threes. He's career 0.6, so not even a full 3, but it's a guy that you'd like if he could take 2 or 3 threes a game and knock down 1.5 attempts, right? Like now you're talking. And then from 2-point range, he is 56.2%, EFG of 52.5% this year. Free throw shooting 55.1% on 1 attempt per game, but it's the rebounding. 5.1 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds per game. Again, for a guy that's playing 16 minutes, 4 points, right? 1.1 assists, a steal, and half a block per game. Now, if you look at his per 36 numbers, right? And again, per 36 doesn't tell you everything, but gives you 9 points, 11.3 rebounds, including 4.1 rebounds. Remember, this is a wing. This is a 3 or a 4 on a team, right? And give you 2.5 assists, 2.2 steals, and a block per game, right? Like that's everything this Lakers team needs. If he could just get some type of competent offensive games, just 34% from 3-point range, right? That's not even great. Like there's centers that don't take it out of 3, that aren't looked at as 3-point guys that shoot that well, right? Like, so if he could just get to being a 34 to 35% 3-point shooter, that would do so much for his game. That would do so much for the Lakers. A guy that can just consistently knock down the 3 ball at just a respectable clip. A clip enough to where teams got to yes, they might still leave him open. Yeah, they might still, because again, especially come playoff time, you're going to have to play the odds, right? But at least if he's 34% or whatever, that means he's going to have games here and there where he knocks down 3 or 4, right? And so if you can just get a game like, one game like that, every series, you're probably winning those games. Right? You get a game where he goes and knocks down 3 or 4 threes because he's just been working on his corner 3 all offseason. Like that's the biggest thing. He needs to, one, get the pep in his step back, right? Like I said, I felt like he was a bit behind, a step behind. Like there were a couple sequences, couple plays where, he'd kind of get beat, right? That he usually wouldn't get beat on, or even if he did get beat, he would recover and be right there, or he wasn't able to recover the way that he used to. Right? Like, great example, go look at the 2023 playoffs against the Warriors and watch Jarred Vanderbilt defend Steph and some of these other guys. I mean, it was like he was teleporting. It's like he was over there like Goku, just right? Like it was insane how he was able to just the ground he was covering. And then watch him this year. Like, it's not the same. He wasn't the same this year. Now, is that something where he's never going to be able to get back to that? And that's just who he is, which is even more of an argument and reason to trade him, right? Because it's just like, unless he's like ultra elite, it's like, like he's giving you nothing offensively and he's not the best perimeter defender anymore. Yes, the rebounding and stuff helps a ton, right? A guy that, rebounds the ball, excellent, great live ball turnovers, right? He gives you some offense, just not in the traditional sense, right? He's getting you more offense through, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, creating turnovers, live ball, and then just, regular turnovers, out of bounds turnovers type things. So it's a tough spot to be in, right? But I do think, I don't want to just give Jarred Vanderbilt away. But if you can find a move where a team's like, we're going to lose this guy, like we'd rather have Vanderbilt than just like lose this guy, then fine, right? I'd rather do something like that. Like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, right? If like we can't sign him, but Minnesota's like, hey, we'd rather have Vando than just like lose Nickeil Alexander-Walker, then fine, I'd rather do that, right? Because Nickeil Alexander-Walker gives you the defense, gives you the athleticism. He's still young, but he gives you the 3-point shooting. Right, he's not as big, he's not as long, right? He might not be as versatile defensively as Vanderbilt, not as good of a rebounder as Vanderbilt, but he's going to give you the 3-point shooting, and he's still going to give you a level of defense. Those are the kind of things I want. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.